Hi, how's everyone? Welcome. Thanks for coming back. And hello and welcome if you are new. I swear I stutter badly. I sing even worse. But if you can vibe with a hot mess, you found the right channel. We're doing the moon today, and the moon is in Scorpio. I did a write up, so let's talk about how this is all playing out. So, in sidereal astrology, the moon is at 5 degrees as of this writing, Scorpio, in a favorable trine to the North Node at 3 degrees, the Sun at 5 degrees, conjunct Neptune at 5 degrees, all in Pisces. So she's also coming out of an opposition with Uranus at 0 degrees in Taurus. This is a disseminating moon, so its light is waning towards darkness. But let's explore the term disseminating for a minute. It means to spread, scatter, or propagate. Hang on. It means to spread, scatter, or propagate, suggesting the idea of seeding possibilities to bloom at a later time. Okay, whether this is information, because we often hear the term disseminating information. So whether this is information or intention, energy, etc., it is the action of throwing hope into the future before a time of darkness and rest, so that these new endeavors can establish while the old cycle withers. These seeds will then begin to break the surface when the new moon begins waxing, and the next new moon will break in Aries on the 30th. So, this energy taking place in Scorpio gives us an intense contemplation. Moon in Scorpio is a bit brooding. We could be troubled, uh, gloomy, or worried, and not necessarily unwarranted. Scorpio is a water sign whose discernment is almost clairvoyant. This allows them to penetrate and dissect things so immediately as sometimes it may seem like foreknowledge. Scorpio energy is intense to say the least, not for them, but for those in their vicinity. They are already moody and magnetic. Now add the waning moon. She's drawing inward and examining things that may have been kept hidden and dissecting everything to determine what things might have been illusion, what needs to be released, and what might be salvaged. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, an aspect of death. They need the old to transform and change, always looking for something's true form, and then internally knowing that nothing actually has a true form because the nature of life is constant change. They will throw it on the fire to be purified and reborn. This energy might make us take a deep, hard look at our habits, patterns, things that make us emotionally fulfilled, what we allow to lay dormant in our heart space that comes alive when we cycle back around to give it attention. We may be wrestling with deep personal truths and differentiating between what we hold true and what we hold dear, and which, if any, need to be transformed. Doing this now will seed the next cycle, promote recovery, rebirth, healing, and release. When the new moon breaks in Aries, we will be able to enjoy the first new growth of a transformed self, more confident, independent, and empowered, and aligned with a truer purpose. So, how I do the moon readings is I take the first light tarot and I find the moon and I pull what's behind it and what's in front of it, and that's what we'll be looking at the moon. So, what's behind the moon is things that are in the past. That's what I'm getting from this particular pull. And then what's in front of the moon is what is being illuminated by it. Interestingly, Well, before we get started, please remember that not all the messages will resonate for all of you the same way. So leave what doesn't resonate now, but keep it in mind because it might make sense at a later time because you are all at different points in your timelines. Like I say, I can read the script, but I can't tell you which character you all individually play or where you choose to stand on the stage, whether you're involved, observing, or a cross watcher. I can only read the energies. So, with that in mind, um, the interesting thing I got with this pull is behind the moon, we have the portal card. That makes perfect sense because we just had the lunar eclipse in Virgo, and that opened up a secondary portal between the 3-3 and the 4-4 portal. Now we have a lunar portal, and that will close, right around the new moon because that's when we'll have the matching solar eclipse in Aries. Aries? I'm pretty sure that is. Yeah. So this is the portal that just passed the moon and its influences right now, and then what it's illuminating is Justice card, Libra energy. I don't know what's going on in Libra. I think Venus, though, is in Pisces, and we're dealing with some heavy Pisces energy because there's like 6 planets lined up in Pisces in sidereal astrology. So we're going through a cycle of really deep soul work. What is this hair here? Okay, cat hair, of course. Bottom of the deck, we've got the Chariot, Temperance, and Attraction. So we'll get to that in a minute. Excuse me. So I paused at 707 for those looking for number syncs. So we're going to get to the cards here. First, we're going to clarify the portal card. What did they want me to say about this? Passageways, movement, a movement between worlds, times, and relationships. Decide your path. So that lunar eclipse, again, in Virgo, was opening up a new mini portal between the lunar and the solar eclipse. So I want to say the portal is going to represent where we're coming from. I like the idea of portals and doorways and things like that because it represents an idea called liminal space. And what liminal space is that it's like an in-between. It's an in-between space. That's all I can think of. A condition, a space, a situation, a time frame, a moment that is neither the past nor the future, but it's something that we pass through to get from one to the other. It reminds me a lot of, in one of my other decks, the Tarot of the Divine, which deals with mythology and folklore from around the world. The Two of Wands is a portal card because it's embarking on a crossroads, or it's stopping at a crossroads and deciding a new path where you're not on the old path, but you're not on the new path yet either. You have to choose. And in the card they use the god, the Roman god Janus, who has two faces, and one looks to the past and one looks to the future. There's no Greek equivalent to Janus, so I find his representation and his symbolism very intriguing. Like, in Roman, Jupiter is Zeus, and Saturn is Cronus, and Venus is Aphrodite. So most of the planets and gods do have a counterpart between Roman and Greek. Janus does not. He was the god of liminal spaces, doorways, passageways, hallways, and things like that. I often think of him when people describe going through a doorway and forgetting what they came for, I often say that that's Janice's energy, because going through the doorway means you're not in the old place anymore, you're in a new place. And sometimes they say, like with reincarnation, when we go through the portal, which is the birth canal, we leave behind the old life and we come into a new life. Now, we do have remnants of the memory of that old life for a while, but we are come through to a new state of being, and we understand that there are new decisions to be made. So we kind of forget what happened in the before the doorway. You know what I mean? I hope that resonated with someone. So I feel like with this portal card, we're going to explore what we're leaving behind while we go through this new passageway. Remember, this said it's movement between time frames, worlds, and relationships. So decide your path. So please clarify and elaborate the portal card. I feel like I want to ask, what are we leaving behind? We've got the Nine of Cups in the reverse. Something is missing. The Nine of Cups is being prepared for love or, emotional fulfillment, but we don't have that 10th cup. Therefore, the cups that we do have set up are still empty. So this is a card of prosperity and achievement and personal contentment, but there's still something missing. And what's missing is the emotional connection that goes in those cups to make the 10. So in the reverse, it's coming to the epiphany, the enlightenment that something is missing. On top of that, we've got the the Nine of Wands in the reverse. And with that, it's bringing hard feelings. Clarify, please, the portal. Thank you. Justice reverse. That's interesting because we have justice in the upright here on the other side of the moon. So there was something here that may have been false accusations and bias. And we had been dealing with that in the last reading. Because Mercury is retrograde, Venus is retrograde, all in Pisces. And I think it was aspecting something else. Oh, yeah, Mars in Gemini. So Mars is in Gemini, but Venus and Mercury are in retrograde in Pisces. So there is an energy here of, especially with Mercury retrograde, information being delayed or incorrect or being interpreted wrong or missing information. That's Mercury's influence. So we have here an energy of, I feel like somebody is shedding something through that portal, because there was false information here. There was a false bias here. Something is missing. There's bitterness and false accusations and bias, okay? Bottom of the decks, we've got with a King of Pentacles, a Knight of Cups, and the Chariot, Cancer energy. So let's see what that says. This could be an earth sign. We've got Justice, that's Libra. The earth sign here is designate the king to Capricorn. Somebody stable, dependable, supportive, and hardworking. But Knight of Cups here, somebody idealistic, romantic, diplomatic, and earnest. And the Chariot, determined movement. Okay. So I feel like some of us in the collective, I don't know who this will resonate with, maybe making if this King of Pentacles isn't your energy, viewer, then you may be moving towards a King of Pentacles. You may be moving towards the qualities of the King of Pentacles. You're leaving behind something that had been emotionally unfulfilling. But you had high hopes for it because you did get to the Nine of Cups. Something is missing. There was hard feelings here. And someone feels like they had poor judgment in this condition, in this situation. So the portal brought the opportunity to move forward. Chariot energy is active movement, determined movement. But I feel a pause here because with the chariot, the two sphinxes that pull the chariot, they're not actually up and moving yet. They're still laying down. There was something that had to be answered here. Because the sphinxes, they don't let you by until you answer their riddle. You have to answer questions about the phase that you have just gone through to prove that you can go to the next. So this also represents a kind of portal because the sphinxes guarded the gateway. The sphinxes guarded the gateway to the portal. Here we've got the portal card. You had to answer for the cycle before to make sure that you learned everything that they needed you to learn in order to prove that you could go to the next level. Once you answer those riddles, you're invited to get into the chariot and move forward. And I like this movement here with this Knight of Cups because you're going forward to this new cycle with an open heart and sincere intentions. You may be a little idealistic, but you're earnest and you're going forth. I believe some of you in the collective may be going towards romance and love because here in this Nine of Cups in the reverse, there was nothing in those cups. It was not emotionally fulfilling. But now I feel like with this King of Pentacles energy, somebody who's very supportive and stable and hardworking, I feel dedication here. Dedication to move forward towards more loving condition. Okay. So with that portal, it's not you may not necessarily have made the move yet to move on to this new cycle, but definitely the internal decision was there was the opportunity given to make that decision. So let's check the moon here, please. Do I want to put those back? I don't know. No, I'll keep them. The moon. So the moon brings instinct and illumination. She makes us deal with the shadow self because in the shadow of the sun, the ego is quiet. And in that energy, we can address what the ego usually drowns out. So there could be some energies here with the moon. Oh, we've got something. We've got the Seven of Wands. It did kind of come out in the reverse, and we have been dealing with that energy lately. This is feeling criticized, feeling overwhelmed, or inadequate. So that is definitely something that the moon may be making us not deal with, address, and acknowledge how we are feeling criticized and inadequate in this situation that we had come through. Did we feel that way in it, or having to come through it, do we feel that way now? So that's what's being illuminated here. Can we clarify a couple more, please, for the moon? And that's too many, but the sun came out. That's illumination. I heard illumination and good spirits, too. So don't be so hard on yourself. This feels very self-critical. The Seven of Wands comes after the Six of Wands, and the Six you can see on the bottom here. The Six of Wands is a card of victory, and these Six Wands were once held by people who celebrated you, who were happy for you, proud of you, acknowledging your victories and accomplishments. But now in the Seven of Wands, those same people are adversarial towards your success, and you find yourself up on a hill having to defend your high ground. Here in the reverse, it's just emphasizing the feelings that you're having while having to be in this defensive mode. You're feeling overwhelmed, inadequate, and criticized. So please clarify the moon and the seven of wands. Thank you. We've got the eight of pentacles, but it came out in the reverse. And that's a feeling of being uncommitted to something that's not working right, working of low quality or of rushed production. You feel like in that old energy you were being rushed to be something that you had trouble accomplishing. Please clarify the Eight of Pentacles reversed on the Seven of Wands reversed on the moon. I hear, oh, Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune, but in the reverse. Disappointment, a lack of control. Okay, let it pass. Okay, yeah. So being defensive, something not working, because with the Eight of Pentacles, you're really dedicated. That's that King of Pentacles energy, working towards something that means a lot to you. You're putting in a lot of effort, but in the reverse, it either means that that effort was, um, like that other card said, feeling inadequate, or either you were feeling inadequate, like I couldn't make it work. That's what I'm hearing. I couldn't make it work. But this is really self-critical because I feel like it's something that you had tried to work on within yourself. Not necessarily something physical, but something you had tried to work on within yourself and you just couldn't change it. That led to disappointment and feeling like you couldn't control what you were feeling. Bottom of the deck, we've got the Hermit in reverse. That's good. You're coming back to yourself. This feels like forgiveness. Because in Hermit energy, Virgo, this is Virgo energy. It's solitude and introspection. But in the reverse, it's coming back down off of your mountain. Rejoining society, rejoining yourself. We've got the Knight of Pentacles and the upright, but it's a slow process. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest motherfucker in the deck. And the World in reverse. Feeling unfulfilled. And it literally says, here we go again. So there may have been some in the collective who felt a little bit like they couldn't exit this cycle because the Wheel of Fortune here is in the reverse. And then you've got the World in reverse. It's like going backwards towards that old cycle. Or at least just coming out of it very, very slowly with that Knight of Pentacles. You see, he's planning ahead, but his horse is stone still. He's not really moving. And if he is moving, he's moving one step at a time. But I heard that's okay. One step at a time is okay. Just don't go backwards, like the World in reverse is saying. So in Temperance coming out. Okay. So in the future here, on the other side of the moon phase, this is what we're going to be growing. Okay. This is what I think this is saying the seeds that we're supposed to plant for the coming. Remember, I was saying while the disseminating moon is getting darker and darker until we get to the new moon, which is totally dark for a few days. You're not supposed to do any manifestation work during the dark moon. It's a time of rest. So plant the seeds now, even if it's just mental seeds, even if it's just intentions. Plant them now and start watering them with changing your habits. Remember, the moon does rule habits, and Scorpio rules transformation. So this is a transformation of your habits, and that is what you're going to use to water the seeds for the new cycle. So in the new cycle, the main thing here I see is justice. Now, not only is this karma in the upright, but justice means verdicts, thinking, and decisions. So please clarify justice on the other side of the moon. Thank you. We've got the eight, the Six of Wands, but in the reverse. And we're gonna keep going because okay. Now here's the Eight of Wands. A lot of Wands energy. Quick, decisive actions to turn the tide. Okay. And one more for justice in the future, please. Justice in the future. Got a lot of Wands. I think that's that Mars energy in Gemini. We've got the Magician, but in the reverse. Okay. Bottom of the deck. Oh, there's so many reversals. My goodness, you guys. Now, Mercury and Venus are in retrograde right now. Let's see here. Oh. I feel like justice supersedes some of these reversals. Okay? Let me contemplate this for a second. Defeat, futility. Decisive action. But it did kind of come out reversed a little bit. Oh, say delayed actions. Bad timing, slow aid, and feeling abandoned. Okay. And then the Magician in the reverse. So many reversals, you guys. Blockage. Oh, that's the Mars energy because Magician, I think, is like Aries energy, and Aries is ruled by Mars. Okay. Wasted talents and tools. Lack of inspiration. Let's see the bottom of the decks here. Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. And the Page of Cups in the upright. Oof, that's a tough one. This is a tough cycle for you guys. I paused at 2712 for those looking for number syncs. So I was considering contemplating on the Justice card and why all these things are in the reverse. And then it just became really clear to me. Justice is bringing fairness, balance, and karma and decisions. You're really thinking. Remember, we had the Hermit in the reverse here. You're going to be coming out of this, but this is contemplating the fairness of your situation. And so with the scales of justice, you're bringing something forward to weigh on against the feather of truth. That's what the scales do. It also brings balance to your karma. So what we have here is the idea of, in the future, bringing justice to something that you thought had been futile or a failure. Something that maybe was not able to come to fruition because of bad timing or delayed actions. So for those of you who may resonate with the delayed actions, futility, Magician in the reverse, blockage, or wasted talents. That's for some of you. The decision here is to address the fact that your efforts so far may have been futility here, because you had been blocking your own abilities. You had been blocking your own talents and not putting forth this Eight of Wands, which is delayed action. You put something that you had the talent to bring forth for yourself, you put something on the back burner. And I think justice here is bringing it back up into the, remember with the moon being Cancer and being representing cycles, coming back around to something that you may have put on the back burner in the past. Okay. We have been exploring a little bit in the past few readings, the idea that that people had been abandoning something that they had would be able to use in order to change a situation or make something a little more prosperous for themselves, but they had to put it aside. Maybe there were blockages, maybe it wasn't the right time, maybe they didn't have the right education at the time, but they had a talent for it. It's gifts and talents, abilities, natural abilities. It can also involve the desire to want to do something, right? That you know you're good at, but maybe the timing was wrong. We do the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So there was a blockage in manifesting something that you know would have been your victory. We've got victory in reverse here, and it came out futile, and it came out kind of a failure. Make sure that it's not you being hard on yourself, because we do have self-criticism here. Underneath that, we've got this Ten of Pentacles in reverse. I feel this is fear. I don't feel like this is ruin. But then with this Seven of Pentacles in reverse, this is neglected projects and skirting your responsibilities. But then on top of that, we have that wonderful Page of Cups. Somebody coming in with, it's young, which means that this new idea is very new. It's very new. It's untested. It's enthusiastic, but inexperienced. So, but sensitive, serene, and eager, and you know your heart is in it. You know your heart is in it. So this, I believe, is a cycle of really looking inward and looking at what within ourselves we have neglected. And with that neglect to ourselves, it has caused this arrested development. Literally. You're your own blockage. And you know what? That happens. It really does. Time gets in the way. Responsibilities get in the way. Life gets in the way. Life gets in the way of the life that you wanted to live. And I think right now, this is an opportunity of sending of seeds. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. This is an opportunity to lay seeds for your own development. Okay? You need to understand that your prosperity only depends on you. So lay the seeds that will allow your own God-given abilities, divine-given abilities, soul-given abilities to develop in the new cycle. Okay? That Justice card is definitely weighing the past here. This was a harsh one. It ends up a little bit optimistic with that nice Page of Cups, coming in sincere and eager, if a little untested. But the idea that it's untested makes him brave. Okay, because you don't know what's coming, so you don't give yourself the opportunity to be afraid. Okay, so we're going to go on to the angels and ancestors oracle messages. I hope this is resonating. I hope the messages are reaching you for your highest good. If you are vibing with my content, please take a moment to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, share my video. It all helps get my content seen. In the description, you'll find my email and donation links. I am available for personal readings and birth chart inquiries. And for any small donation amount, I would love to do you a 3-card personal spread as a thank you. Email, Venmo, and Cash App are in the description. I appreciate any and all signal boost, feedback, or donation. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, Traveler. Okay, and one more, please. Thank you. The Knight. Hey. Be brave and honorable and move in a new direction. Okay. Sagittarius energy, movement. This is the portal opening up. I just feel like some are a little bit scared here. They're a little bit gun shy because you had to come to some really hard acknowledgments here that maybe you were getting in your own way. The pattern that you had been trying to secure was not working. And there was a lot of self criticism here because you probably put a lot of work into this old system and it just didn't work. And you're like passing judgment on yourself. Was it me? Was it my abilities? Was it my failure? Was it my what's this one? Slow aid and bad timing. Yeah. Was it me that caused this? In a way, yes. I will be harsh with that one. In a way, yes, it was you who caused this, but it wasn't consciously. It wasn't maliciously. You're not going to sabotage yourself on purpose. But like I was saying before, it was almost a feeling of life got in the way of what your real talents are. And only when you tap into that energy will you be able to open up that new pathway towards your prosperity. Okay? So we're going to read for the traveler. All right. The message is move in a new direction. Can you see that? Or did I just mess it up here? Here? It's better. No, I can't see. Oh. That's good, right? That's good. Okay. I'll do my best. It says welcome any opportunities to travel either in the outer world or your inner worlds. Okay? This is real deep self-reflection. The road you're on may be the road less traveled, but this journey is going to be highly beneficial for your emotional and spiritual growth. If it isn't about covering outer distance, it's about covering distance within you, and you will be evolving every single moment of it. Remember to keep things simple and to lighten your load. I will like to mention that in the previous readings, we have been getting the 10 of Wands and the 9 of Wands in the reverse, meaning you have to put something down. You can't go forward with such heavy baggage. If there's nobody to delegate any of these tasks to, there is no failure in putting something down. That's not working, okay? Remember to keep things simple and lighten your load because you will make your journey more enjoyable. You're also being encouraged to see how far you've come and how you've really grown as a person because this recognition will support you in going even further. And there's a good chance that along the way you'll make new friends who will become companions for a lifetime. I don't get that in this reading, but in the other readings, it has definitely said that after this very harsh cycle, I believe that has to do with Pisces and that deep inner work, not necessarily a dark night of the soul, but a dimly lit hallway of the soul. That's that portal energy, that liminal space of the in-between, where we're going to be a little bit alone in our principles, alone in our feelings, trying to purge the things that didn't work, really acknowledging and investigating the things that we hold true. And then on the other side of it, it's like, bam, love opens up. So we're on the path towards elevating ourselves so much that we actually meet our soulmates at the end of it. I won't even say at the end, I'll just say on the other side of this cycle, because there's really no end to things. They just keep developing. So then we have the Knight, which is be brave and honest. It's actually a really handsome card. It says, do the right thing even if it isn't the easiest option. Stand for what you know to be right and true. The energy of respect is important right now. You're being encouraged to figure out what is important to you and what you stand for. If you're in a space where there's opposition, then you're being guided to follow through with integrity, because even if it seems this will slow your progress. Okay, I have to mention, we do have the Seven of Wands in reverse here. That's being overwhelmed and having to defend yourself and then slowing your progress. Here we've got that Knight of Pentacles going towards the World card in the reverse, which feels like here we go again. Okay? Because even if it seems that it will slow your process, your reward will be much more abundant. This feels like being patient through the growing process. Okay? Like I was saying with this new moon, with this moon cycle going towards the new moon, you're planting seeds that you want to grow when the moon, after the moon gets new. Do you know what I mean? Gets new after the new moon in Aries. Ugh. This card also brings justice. Okay, and we have justice there in the future. If you're longing for justice, please know that the universal energies are working to bring everything back into order, and that you don't need to fight, you don't need to force anything through with your will. If you have made any mistakes recently, okay, there's lots of cards here about feeling like you failed, feeling like you've been abandoned, like you didn't put your best efforts in, justice in reverse, feeling like you've been attacked. Yeah, that, like I say, when I get to this point with these cards, I might stutter like an asshole, but my cards don't lie. The universal energies are working to bring everything back to order, and that you don't have to force anything through with your will. If you have made any mistakes recently, it's important to take ownership of them so that you can align yourself with improving the situation. If you're feeling the need to defend your spiritual path, that eight of wands over there, eight of wands, seven of wands, sorry, defending yourself with that seven of wands. If you feel that you need to defend your spiritual path, which this knight represents, I lost my place. At this time, back down a little and let it protect you. Interesting. I love those. Very, very nice advice there. So we're going to get some final little insights, some advice, some encouragement. Let's see. Okay. For the collective in this moon cycle. Get the sun. The sun has been popping out lately. It's the self. It's your identity. It's illuminating who you are. It's bringing the truth into the light. This is the self, identity, illumination, generosity, warmth and growth, creativity, pride, a little bit of ego, playfulness, and expression. This is the happiest energy in the deck. But we've got clouds here too. There's a little bit of confusion and unclear hidden secrets. Okay. Doubt, misunderstanding, insecurity, and not enough information. I feel like this is internal. I heard someone say, I don't know. It's like somebody doesn't know enough about themselves to feel confident in this movement. But 777, you are on the right path. This is your divine path. You're right where you should be, and you are serving your divine purpose. Let's see what else we got. too many at once, please. One at a time. One at a time. Okay. Oof. Yeah, that's what you feel like. You got hit in the head with something. Oof. Okay. Burn the garbage. Something's a dumpster fire. And remember, you are air. Breathe, focus, decide, observe, think, and cut away. Oyster. Yep. It fell out twice and I put it back. I'm going to take it. This is great. Do you look at this oyster card? You see how huge it is in the card? It's because it's been growing for a long time. This represents a gift from the divine is being prepared just for you, but in the divine's timing. And we do have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. That is divine timing, but it's held up a little bit. Okay? There is a delay. And it's because you've been afraid of this movement. But look, 666, fear is an illusion. Remove fear, doubt, and negativity because these are the true demons. And we've got Chiron. Okay, the wounded healer, the teacher, healing inner wounding, civility, being civil with yourself, perceived failures, that's where that is. Okay. Chiron right now is in Aries or Pisces in sidereal. And Chiron represents a wounding to our self-worth that we are not responsible for, but we also cannot heal within ourselves. So this makes perfect sense as to why this energy is so self-critical and so self-defeating. This is past traumas, baggage, and needing to work on self-forgiveness. Interesting. Get two more. Three more? Two more. Remember, you are fire. Burn, adapt, love, create, tame, and ignite those new passions. And then we've got the bell. The divine call, spirit is present. So you may hear a bell. You may hear a jingle, a ring. Ooh. Yeah, see? Soulmate was at the bottom. Let me get a couple more, please. Just a couple. Fruition. That which you plant and tend to, or that which you planted and tended to, is ready to harvest or close to. So remember I was saying that this cycle is planting those seeds so that they can start sprouting after the new moon. One more? Or are you done? She might be done. One more or are you done? Oh, that's it. 222. Keep the faith. Timely and auspicious opportunities are coming. Stand strong in your personal truths. Lots of number syncs here, angel numbers. So there's the fruition. That which you planted and tended to is ready to harvest or nearly so. Okay? Awesome. That's what I have for you guys. Thank you so much. What do we have coming up? Let me see here. Love with the fairies and a collective. That's right. So we'll probably do that tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. I hope that resonated. My information is in the description. Until I see you again in the next reading. Okay, thanks. Bye.